Join me for a dream reflection, an experience of magic that came to me through a dream and how I received and revealed the layers of it, the energies of my dream, followed by a brief poem that sums it all up. The Embody podcast accompanies you on your journey of remembering and embodying your true nature, integration and alignment with your vibrational clarity, self-love, and living a life of beauty and wholeness. It's a menu of transformative healing tools, experientials, meditations, and practices from a blend of family constellations, somatic therapies, and holistic and spiritual practices, sprinkled with vulnerable conversations with people who have the courage to be themselves, Alive Now episodes with updates on my personal process, and Reverie episodes that are spiritual succulents that honor, reveal, hug, shake, or stir you into love. I'm your host, Candice Wu, integrative and intuitive healing facilitator and artist. Thanks for joining me today, and welcome back to the Embody podcast. So I had this amazing dream in January 2021, and it's finally time to share it. I had the feeling today that it was the right time to share. So just to preface, I love dream work. I love looking at my dreams and not dream interpretation, although that can be sometimes fun, but more so looking at the dream as a message to me or an experience that my soul wants to bring to me, a sacred encounter. And how I tap into that is really going into it emotionally and energetically and feeling what the energy of the dream wants to reveal to me. And then I do like to pick up on any associations of the dream. I also love to work with the different parts of the dream, the people, the objects, the things, the nature, as if every single part were me, is an aspect of me engaging with another aspect of myself, a Jungian perspective. And that can be so whole and healing. So dreams are, in my eyes, meant to bring us towards more wholeness. Sometimes they bring messages from loved ones or spirits or guides, ancestors, maybe past parts of your being or other parts of your being. And sometimes they're really projective, like reflecting self. And maybe everything's reflecting self in some way, but there's a quality of what the dream brings. So I'm going to jump into sharing this dream as if we are in the story itself. So in this dream I had on January 26th, 2021, I am driving through a woodsy area and I'm so excited to take a bike ride. I thought I would walk around the area first. So I'm driving in and I see these gorgeous trees, giant, tall trees, and I'm just amazed. I feel like I'm completely in magic. When I got to the parking area, it was a garage with many levels. I pulled into a spot and realized that my bike wasn't with me. And I am walking around now, and there are a lot of people there. I'm looking around. The trees were so pretty. I wanted to go back to them. And suddenly, I feel someone else's keys in my hands. I wonder to myself, do I still have my own keys? Yes, I do. So I feel my own keys as well. And I look around, whose keys are these? And I see a sort of head honcho lady behind a glass, like a glass office area. And I'm supposed to check in with her. I see my best friend as well. And suddenly in my bag that just magically appears on my shoulder, there's another set of keys and there's money. And I'm just dumbfounded, like, where did this come from? And I think it belongs to somebody else. I realize that I'm supposed to give these keys to the head lady. It feels like a proof of my honesty or something, a test. Feels like if I give these to her, then I'll have some sort of honor or integrity. At least that's what I think in the moment. I'm trying to find my car so I can get back to that lady because somehow I'm somewhere else now and I have no idea where I am in the garage. A man helps me and he hears my car and he says, "It's on the 6th floor. So you need to go upstairs." I realize I'm on the 4th floor and I start to go up and I decide to take the stairs instead of the elevator. There are a series of obstacles on the stairs, on the wall, like the curvy wall of the stairs, and I'm stepping on them. This woman is following behind me and doing the same thing. It's a weird squishy thing against the wall, and we're just stepping on each one to get up, and we make it. So when I woke up from that dream, I felt that I had a direct experience of magic. I felt like those trees were just speaking to me. They were so surrounding me and beautiful, and I felt complete joy. And that's the feeling, that's the energy that I was getting from the dream, big time. That's the moment of the sacred encounter, which is a phrase that I received from a type of dream work called active dream work by Roger Chemnitz. It is that moment that you feel like is truly divine in the dream. And sometimes we bypass it because a lot of times these divine or magical moments are ones that stretch our current conscious limits of what we can feel. And that was the piece, though. I woke up and I felt like, this is beauty. This is what I know. This is who I am. And it's so interesting that then the rest of the dream takes me in all these, it's almost like a maze, all these different levels of the garage, and then all these hoops that I had to jump into. So here were my thoughts afterwards. Who is that female authority behind the glass window? I love coming up with questions from the dream. So who is that inner authority in me? And have I designated some outer authority to decide my worth, my virtue, or the honor, my honor? What hoops do I feel like I needed to jump through in order to get back to beauty and magic? I was right there already. Why didn't I just go straight for that beauty and magic? I'm already there. And then this whole process happened as this sort of mediator between that experience and the next experience that I thought I could have. In the dream, the man was so helpful. And at the time, I was really working with some dynamics in relationship to men, masculine energy, but mostly men. And I was receiving that help from the dream. He was instinctual and knowing. And that was really powerful. And he also directed me to my car. So there was a part of man that was still part of that paradigm of like going through the hoops, going through the motions of what we think we need to go through in order to experience joy. That's just at least what I was getting from it. You may hear my dream and get something totally different. If we're following this storyline, I had to go back to my car, which was on the 6th level. I'm not that into numerology, but I like to look it up just to see if there's something interesting. And 6 being a very sacred number, there was this feeling of having to reach some sort of spiritual level in order to go towards my desires, a very subtle level of that needing to attain something in order to have what I desire, to be worthy of it, or just to have it now. And I feel like I have to give this woman these keys that just appeared to me. And how do I stepping out of the dream, how did I even know that those were not my keys? It was like there was some part of superego in the dream that was saying, those are not your keys. There was a sort of judgment about it, even though the keys were in my hands. And if you think about it, if you have the keys in your hands, the key is in your own hands. That to me gives me the energy of, I have some gifts. I have the way. My way is my way. My roadmap is me. And here are the keys. They're right in my hands as a sort of visual for something that's already existing in me. But somehow I feel like I need to give them away, like give them back to someone else. They belong to someone else. And I'm aware when I wake up that those could be mine. And then I find more keys in my bag and there's money there. And I also think those are someone else's. I have long since been working with money and abundance and resource arriving in unexpected ways, just showing up in ways that are a surprise or that I could not even think up. And here it is in my dream. I have this money and more keys, and it's like resource. It's like gifts that just land in my space. And why not? Why wouldn't they be mine? And all the while, I think I need to give them up. I need to give up my gifts, these keys, and that someone else will give me the go-ahead or the accolades or something to prove something of myself. So it's this quality of giving up something that was just magically mine or for me, and to the ends of proving something of myself. It's this weird loop around itself where we could just go directly to the source of who we are, directly to experience joy and the magic of ourselves and the magic of our surroundings, instead of having to do things in order to earn that ability or worthiness. To me, this relates to our ideas of money or anything we think we need to accomplish or do or have in order to feel happy, joyful, or be in pleasure, to experience peace. We can have it directly. You can go straight for it. And you may not even need the money to do it. You may not need anything else to do it. Or you may need less money or other resources to have that experience right now. But even just in this moment, whatever you have access to around you, if you're listening to this, you could just look towards something that looks peaceful or pleasant to you and take it in. And the deeper you go, you could feel a deeper sense of pleasure or joy. So the messages I received from my dream were that when abundance shows up in my space, receive it, take it, allow it to be a gift. And that I have keys, I have currency, and that it could be mine. I don't have to give it away or sacrifice myself. In the past, I would feel like I'd have to be a good person by doing nice things for others in order to receive that sort of acknowledgement. And then I could confirm that I was indeed a good person or that I was loving. And that I needed that sort of outer validation to prove it or to credit myself in that way. And a deeper loving I have found is that I can give that to myself. It's already there. I am already whole. And I am the power is within me to affirm myself because I exist. It is already there. It's a given. I'm already enough. I'm already worthy. I'm already lovable. I'm already beautiful. So I was really left with the question, where in my life and my world am I looking for a badge of honor from outside of me or from another person or from a situation that would give me something else? And where can I instead have a direct experience, go straight for the joy, the pleasure, the magic, the connection, the beauty? And in what ways am I giving up my own gifts, my energies, in ways that have an ulterior motive of wanting validation, rather than just from the pure joy of giving it, which comes back to having joy, aligning to joy. So if this dream was interesting for you, I would invite you to ask these questions to yourself, whatever's coming up, whichever part of the dream you hooked into, or the questions or reflections that I had. Where can you have a direct plug-in, a direct experience of joy just in who you are already? Where can you skip going around the garage and all the levels and go straight for the beautiful trees, instead of feeling like you need to prove yourself or achieve something in order to get to the trees or get to the bike ride? Are there ways that you are preventing yourself from having joy by thinking you need to gain some sort of worthiness or earn something first? There's definitely a time to work hard in the span of life force. And at the moment, I'm in the space of working easy, or having things come with ease, taking the path of least resistance, the one that just comes most easily, and to allow flow rather than force. You may or may not be in that space, but are there parts of you that want that? And is there a blocking or an open door to abundance just showing up in your space unexpectedly? Can you receive it if it comes? So I hope this dream and exploration was interesting for you. All the while I was exploring and I was feeling it in my body and feeling the energy come in like a download. So my hope is that if that was interesting for you, that you receive something like a download, or that you can begin to see your own dreams that way if you don't do dream work, or that this is just continuation of your own dream experiences and gleaning the wisdom from your dreams. If you're interested in learning more about dream work, the benefits of dreaming and recording your dreams, and some embodiment practices to prepare your body and your physiology to thrive in your dream life, you can check out 3 of the classes that I have on Skillshare. If you don't have a Skillshare account, you can get a premium account for 2 weeks to check out these classes. And you can also check out all of the rest of Skillshare that has a bunch of different tutorials from a variety of teachers. You can find that at candicewu.com/dreamclasses. So for today, I will leave you with a poem that I wrote from this dream that sort of sums up my own takeaways from that dream, the wisdom that I received. It's called Direct Experience of Magic. I see the trees, they see me, the structures that veil, confuse me and disorient. For my compass was once the beauty, the awe, the one who saw. Replaced by the inner authority, she who sits behind the glass of the past, the blast that has not been digested and sits to rot and wait. The wait that cannot be any longer for the time we spend, the time we mend ourselves. In this time we become the direct experience of magic. We skip the badge of honor, the climb that laboriously took play away and gave us something responsible to do, to gain all that virtue, to gain the means to merely enjoy what's already ours to claim. For it's a funny game we placed upon ourselves.